Honorable Men Discord. What men could learn from Beyonce. Let's talk about it. All right, before I get attacked by the Beehive and fans of Beyonce, I am strictly talking about her some of her choices as a married woman at 43 years old for her Adidas advertisements. All right, so she has a clothing line or a partnership with Adidas. It's called Ivy Park, and I happened to come across one of the, I guess one of the commercials that she did for Ivy Park, and I said to myself, I get it. She's in phenomenal shape. She's attractive, but why? Why? I said why. Now, Beyonce is beyond successful. Uh, she's a billionaire, as is her husband, Jay Z. She has children. She pretty much wants for nothing. But what can men learn from Beyonce? What men could learn from Beyonce is this: it doesn't matter how much money the man makes, it doesn't matter how much money the woman has. If the female decides she wants to show her body, she's going to show her body. Now, by all means, if the man in the female's life is fine with her showing her body, where other men are going to be able to see that, then just disregard this video. But this conversation is about wives. Wives showing their body. Well, overexposing their body, I should say. Overexposing their body, in my opinion. And I'm not the only one that shares this view. Now, by all means, if married men don't appreciate their wives showing their body to the world, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, by all means, in the comments. In the comments. Let's talk about it. So I came across a particular clip, not this one that you see to the side of me, but I came across the clip and I said to myself, why does she need to do this? You can't say it's just for promotional purposes, because she doesn't need that. And here's the thing: Beyonce is super talented. Let me start by saying that super talented. Aside from the fact that she's attractive and she's talented, she has personality, right? And I'm gonna get to that in a few. So she's talented, she's attractive, she has personality, and there's plenty of people out there that's talented with no personality, where it's hard to market them because they don't have personality. They're talented, but they don't have much personality, so you're limited to how you're gonna market them. And then there's people that are talented but aren't attractive. Beyonce is the rare few that embodies all those three things I mentioned: talented, beautiful, personality. There's a reason why she's at the top of her field in the music industry, because she embodies she checks a lot of boxes that her competitors in her craft don't necessarily check, right? So let me just go to her net worth. So her net worth, when I looked it up, you see she's under Dr. Dre and under Madonna. She has a net worth of $826 million, right? And why am I noting that? I'm noting that because we're not going to come up with an excuse for this, all right? And are all her ads like what I'm about to show you? No, they're not. But my point is, being that she has personality, she's attractive, and she's talented, she doesn't need to do certain types of videos to promote her, brands, right? Not at this age, never actually. There's no need to. She's talented. And I'm not saying that if you're not talented, then you should show your body. That, I'm not advocating that. So don't get what I'm saying misconstrued. I'm not saying that if you're not talented that you have to show your body. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just pointing out the fact that being that she checks out all these boxes, why is she doing certain types of ads? Right? So let's just get straight to it. This clip that I'm about to show you is one of many ads that she's done for her Adidas Ivy Park line, right? And I'm going to let it play. I'm not going to play the audio because I don't want copyright strikes. So just take a look at this. Now this is fine because she's clothed. Now, some may argue, listen, I don't like my wife doing anything seductive on camera. And I can't argue with anyone that says that, right? Because that can be an argument. Whether some women agree with it or not, it can be an argument. She's posing in a seductive fashion, but she's clothed. With the exception of her side, she's showing some skin. Again, compared to what I'm about to show, this is artistic. All right, let's continue. By the way, Adidas, I don't know where a female is going to be wearing that. I don't know if this is gym attire. I don't know what attire this is, but it's out there. And this is from, let me see. This is from 3 years ago. All right, but I don't know what this particular outfit is designed for, but nevertheless, let's continue. Okay. Now, here's my thing with what Meg can learn also. Okay, again, super successful. She doesn't even need to partner with Adidas. She could actually do her own line. She doesn't need to do videos like this because she can just sell product with just showing her face, to be honest with you. But she's doing it. Now, obviously, I'm going to assume that Jay-Z co-signs this. Or maybe he didn't co-sign it, but he has no choice because she's doing what she wants to do. That's like a whole nother story, but I can't speculate on that because I'm not in their household. But let's continue. What are we doing? What are we doing? Why is this necessary? But then I would be wrong if I was to snapshot that picture and make that my thumbnail without showing Beyonce's face, because then it would be viewed as, oh, you're sexualizing her, right? But she's doing these type of ads as a married woman with kids. Let's continue. Now, a lot of this is typical of what Beyonce's been doing throughout her career, so I'm not saying this is stuff that she hasn't done. I'm just pointing out the fact that, you know, again, she's not single, she's married, she has kids, she's already successful, already talented, plenty of albums out, plenty of solo albums. She has the albums with Destiny's Child. So she doesn't have to do this. All right. Again, I showed you her net worth. It's 800 and some change millions of dollars. She doesn't need to do anything that's super provocative. And by all accounts, I don't not like seeing it. I'm not here to say I don't like seeing it, but she's married. I'm trying to basically say to the world, what is she telling the younger generation? Because if she's doing this at 43 and making the money type of money she's making, what are young women to think of this? Right? Young women are going to think this is acceptable, and they're not even millionaires. right? So if a young woman is involved with a man not even making nearly as much as Jay-Z's making, that man has no legs to stand on. Well, obviously the man has a choice whether or not to be with that woman. He can make the decision and say, listen, if you're not willing to not do the things that make me uncomfortable, then I'm just not going to be with you. That's, the man always has that choice, and the woman has the choice to not be with the man if he doesn't want to accept that she's doing things like this. But I'm just pointing out the fact that, why is she doing this? She doesn't need to do this. And say what you want, come to the defense of Beyonce, but this is like, it's pretty much like, it's definitely thirst trapping, and it's pretty much like OnlyFans. How is this different from OnlyFans? Now this outfit, this you can say is art, right? You can say this is fashion. She's clothed, she has a fancy, an exotic looking wig on. Fine, this is fine, right? There's nothing wrong with this, right? Again, showing personality. Not everyone could be in front of the camera the way she does it. The lasso, this outfit, cool. This outfit, cool, right? Nothing wrong with any of this. She's showing personality. She's smiling, beautiful smile. Nothing wrong with it. This outfit, nothing wrong with it. That outfit, nothing wrong with it. Even this shot, there's nothing wrong with that shot. But once you start doing this, the slow motion of, what are we doing, Beyonce? And by all means, if any of you disagree with me, I'll see you in the comments. Let me just continue to the end. Okay, that was the end. All right, I'm going to exit that out. So just to make my point, I'm going to show some other things. These are alternatives. For those of you that feel like I'm being judgmental to Beyonce for her choices, again, she's talented. She's, excuse me, let me stop this here. I don't know how that happened. All right, so for any of you that are saying that I'm being judgmental to Beyonce and her choices, consider what I mentioned before. She's talented, she's beautiful, and she has personality, right? So because she checks those three boxes, there's no need for her to overexpose herself. And I'm not saying that any woman should overexpose themselves if they're not talented and things of that nature. But, you know, that's been the format of the industry for decades, all right? Women showing skin as artists has been the format for decades. And I'm not condoning that format, but it's a format that the industry feels necessary for them to be able to sell, you know, sell product, sell merchandise, whether it's music or clothing. It's been the format for decades. So I understand the pressures of that, but we're talking about Beyonce because Beyonce does not fall under those pressures when she's super talented and she has the net worth that she has. She does it. She could be selective, right? And this is a perfect example of the choices that she can make as alternatives, where it's still showing her sex appeal, still showing that she has charisma and personality, and it keeps it cute and classy. So take a look at this. smile. I mean, again, for the Beyonce fans, the Beehive or whatever they call them, no need to come for me. I acknowledge her talent. I acknowledge her beauty. Flawless smile. It's the reason why she's winning. It's the reason why she's on top in her field, right? I'm just putting it out there that she doesn't need to overexpose herself. There's no need to do that, and she's in the position where she could make choices. She could say yay or nay to any type of exposure that she doesn't feel comfortable doing. Now, clearly she's comfortable doing it. I'm gonna assume because she's doing it, and clearly she wants to show it. My issue with that is that you're married, and at what point do you say, I've had a successful career. I don't need to do certain things because I'm gonna respect the fact that I'm married now and I'm successful. All right. That's the question that I have. Right. Let's continue. I'm not gonna go through all of this. You get the point. This that you're seeing here to the side of me, completely fine in my opinion, because again, even though she has a lot of material on, it's first and foremost it's actually a good representation of the style that Adidas is trying to put out there. And I'm not a fashion expert, but as a as someone that's has good eyesight, I see that this outfit has some style to it. With the socks, or it looks like it's socks that go into heels, whatever. It looks good. It's tastefully done. I have no issues with that. So I'm moving right along to the video clip that I saw that made me even decide to do this episode. So let's get straight to it. Let me put this back to the beginning. So this is the clip that I came across, and I said, you know what? I have to talk about this. One more time. First of all, I have not been following this brand, Ivy Park and Adidas, but I'm confused. So what exactly is the Adidas outfit here? Are we talking the heels, or are we talking that top? Someone in the comments who's familiar with this, please let me know what's going on here, because I didn't know Adidas made things like this. Now, I don't know Ivy Park. I'm assuming it has to do with, she named it after, I guess, one of her kids. I don't know the significance of Ivy Park, but I didn't know Adidas made things like this. So unlike the previous ad that I showed you, that was more sports type, fashionable type of stuff, which could fall in line with Adidas. But this right here, I'm not understanding what's going on. So if somebody has the answer to that, please explain. I'll see you in the comments. But again, does a married woman that is super successful, talented, beautiful, and has charisma, does she need to be doing this? Is this acceptable to anyone that's married? For those of you that are married, by all means, see me in the comments if you agree with this or if you disagree. But I'm just making a point here. Let's continue. Now, this is one of those, by the way, this is one of those ads where sometimes I come across things, reels on YouTube, and comedians are making a joke. They're like, can you tell me what color Beyonce's hair is? That's one of those things where it's like, really, I don't even know what they're trying to sell, because clearly no one's paying attention to her hair, even though she's swinging it from side to side in slow motion, and no one's paying attention to the outfit. All right, because she's not even necessarily making it about the outfit. They never even did a close-up of the outfit or whatever they're trying to sell. They didn't do a close-up of it. It's clearly all about her body in this. All right, And you could dispute it all you want, but it's mainly about her body. All right. And again, if you want to challenge, what I'm saying with this, by all means, come in the comments. I, again, want to show you an alternative to what she can do because of her talent. Full of personality, full of charisma. Again, show it again. And again, great smile. So what men can learn from Beyonce is that some women, and I always have to make sure I clarify by saying some women, because I don't want people coming after me as though I'm making a general statement. None of these things that I say is ever going to be a general statement. Why? Because not everyone falls under those things, right? There's always going to be a few women that carry themselves with class. There's going to be a few women that respect marriage and the images they put out there, because whether or not their husband says anything about it, it may put their husband in a position where he feels uncomfortable, or he ends up defending the fact that his wife is choosing to put out imagery like that. All right. I personally don't agree with it, with some of the images. Obviously, this image here, I'm all for it. It's showing her personality. She has a great smile. I'm all for that. But when it comes to other stuff that she's choosing to do with the close-ups of her behind and stuff like that, I'm definitely not with it. Do I like how Beyonce looks? Absolutely. Who doesn't, right? But this is not about whether or not I find Beyonce attractive. So let's not deflect with those type of questions. If they even came to me, I mean, come on, of course, right? But I'm talking about what men could learn from Beyonce is that some women, despite how successful they are, they're going to do what they want to do, and they're going to justify it by, that's another thing, some women will justify it by, oh, you're insecure. Why aren't you secure? She's your wife. She comes home to you. So those women that say that, so just because she's my wife and she comes home to me, does she have to put her body on display for the rest of the world? She's not struggling. Must she do ads like this? Does she need to do ads like this? Anyone that's defending this, please explain why she needs to do ads like this. Then, there's those that will say, well, she has a body, let her show her body, let her, you only get to be in your prime for so long. So while she has it, let her show it. I disagree with that. Why does she need to show it? And if she does show it, she can show it in a different way. She doesn't have to do it like this. But that's my take. If anyone agrees or disagrees with me, by all means, I will be in the comments for this one. But just keep in mind that she checks off the 3 boxes I mentioned, so she doesn't need to do advertisements like this. She can do the alternatives like this: personality, smile, and like the others that I showed in the beginning of this video. But that's my take, and that's what I have for today. As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.